more recent, like Khalil Gibran, on any album we did, on any release. So it's a no-brainer actually for us. When you come across a great story that you can use, well, why don't you use it, you know? And for me, the strongest part is the ending, for sure. I mean, it's brutal in a way, it's emotional. I had shivers down my spine when we were first rehearsing that part. You know, it is so much emotion. Khalil Gibran is actually a Lebanese writer, but he moved to America, so he writes in a very poetic English that is not difficult, you know. So it's actually pretty easy to understand, even if you're not native speaking. Like we used to do Lord Byron or Edgar Allan Poe, but they are native speaking English writers. It's for us as well as Belgians a bit more difficult to follow, but this Gibran is and beautiful pictures he makes.
Yeah. And who is the bookworm then? All the members of the band, or you all read books and have this connection, or
he's not?
Who's
apparently he's not.
He's not a guy.
I don't know, but who's the bookworm? Most of the time, Arne and I deliver these kind of concepts. Most of the time, it's Arne who writes the lyrics. But when it comes to like basing your lyrics on literature or poetry, I do suggest some authors as well. So it's a bit of a combination. It's not one person who dictates, well we're gonna do this or that. But most of the time, well, I leave the vocalist writing his lyrics. But you know, with these kinds of ideas, with Khalil Gibran, I popped up with, hey, this is a very interesting story. Let's look into that. And further on, he has to sing it. So. He has to structure, put this part there and whatever, arrange the lyrics. So I leave it up to him, whatever is fitting. So yeah.
It's also a musical thing, because these lyrics exist before the music exists, obviously, because sometimes they exist for more than 100 years. So we as soon as we decided, we want to use this or that old text, music is always floating in our system, and then we pick ideas that would fit the lyric, and then we follow the mood of the story. If it needs something harsh, we'll make it harsh. If it needs something very emotional, slow, sad, well, we come up with something sad, and that's how. For me, it's very nice to be a part in the writing of the music as well, but because I can a little bit direct, guys, we need something like this, or we need something aggressive now, and like that. It's the way we used to work from the beginning. So it's cool. It's natural.
I mean, because some bands, or most of the bands, they use more their own experiences, or maybe movies, or some bands only they use books as sources. And this is, in my opinion, this is amazing. I love reading as well, so it's more even more interesting, I believe, for the fans. Yeah. Good. Now, how was the recording of the anniversary EP in Germany? So is there any difference on the way of recording albums in Germany compared to the others you have experienced before?
Well, we had some good experiences and some lesser experiences. We did an EP called Lost, and that was the first time we went to this studio to record, to try out a new studio, because the previous one, well, we weren't really satisfied about that album. So we wanted something different, someone who had more affinity with the music, and well, because it was an EP where we were like, we're going to do something else. We're going to Germany. It's just 2 songs, and we'll see what it gives. And well, we had a click directly with Marcus, and from then on we are going to his studio to record our stuff, and we had some releases that were just one song, so it's weird to go to Germany for one song, so we recorded in a studio closer to home, but still we want to have the mix done by him, because he feels what Marche Funèbre is about, he knows where we want to go, and vice versa. He can give us ideas without saying, I would do it like that, but he just gives sometimes a suggestion we didn't think of, so he's a bit of the producer as well. And well, we booked the studio now for 2020 February to record our new album, and it will be there again because we really love working there.
Yeah.
It's a very quiet place in the middle of nowhere, so you can focus on the music. There's nothing around, so you can't even go to a pub because there's no pub. It's really in the middle of nowhere. So everyone is very focused on what we do, and well, it creates a nice atmosphere. In the end, in the evening, we can drink beer
Beer
and whiskey.
And whiskey. Yes. Yeah.
Russian champagne.
And Russian champagne.
Russian champagne. Never drink Russian champagne. It's awful. It's awful. No. But it's right. We did have a click with Marcus from the start, and he finds a way to relax when you're playing. And besides that, he's thinking along, like, okay, maybe we could do this line a little bit different, arrange that a little bit different, and he's like a real true musician, engineer, and mixer as well, and he does a bang-up job, and he knows what we want to do. We don't want to go into the studio and sound like the next, I don't know what. We want to sound like Marche Funèbre and have something on an album that sounds like us, not go into something, oh no, I have a better guitar sound or I have a better bass sound that sounds way much better than what you guys use. No, he lets us produce a sound that is authentic, and that is so rare and genuine these days. So that's what we really want to bring across, and he's just the man to do it for us.
Yeah, he's really experienced he's the guy from Imperium and the Vision Bleak. So he's a guitar player, he's a drummer, he's a bass player, he's a vocalist. So he can help us all. We used to work with a guy that was a drummer, so we could, bring ideas to Dennis, but the rest of us, he could just say, I don't like this or that, but he couldn't, bring something stronger than I don't like. And Marcus, he thinks along because he's one of you.
And next to his desk, he's also someone that knows what the touring is about, what playing gigs is about. We can share stories, and he's in the same world than
the same age as well.
Yeah. So, well, it just clicks, Yeah. Well, that's for the Marcus promo team, but but we're really happy there.
Yeah.